Okay, hey guys, this is another one of our individual position specific videos regarding the play East 88 Breach. This is the play we're going to be running on our first Saturday indoor session. And remember, this is going to be a session dedicated just to offensive football. So we're going to have guys on defense who are going to be asked to man an offensive position. And then the next Saturday, we're going to have a session just for defense. So we'll have guys on offense who are asked to man a defensive position. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the strong guard position, which will be Alex and probably somebody else. The strong tackle position, which will be Connor and somebody else. The tight end position, which will be Braden and somebody else. And then the wingback position, who will be a couple of different players. But what I want to go over is the assignments of these four players, because the assignments of these four players really are the most important spots on this play. I'm going to draw up a little bit of a defense and talk about the various things we want you to do depending on where the defense is aligned. Okay, so the assignments for each of these players. Circle right, reach right, double or FBI, double or number two. That's not as complicated as it sounds. So let me start first with the tight end and the wingback. So the tight end and wingback, on this play, you guys are partners. And you need to determine as partners how you're going to block the play. For example, if the defensive end is lined up on the outside shoulder of the tight end, and Braden will nod along with me at home and say that this is how he was lined up most of the time last year. If that's the case, then this player is in a dangerous spot for us. He is in a potential spot to come outside and stop our reach play. So what we want to do is we want to double team this player. We want the tight end to block with his head on the inside. And we want the wingback to come down and block with his head on the outside, creating a double team that will push this player straight back. We want the player going backwards, not necessarily off to the side if we can, but we want him going backwards so that he forms what we call a bubble that any linebacker would have to run over to get to the play. So that's our first scenario. The tight end will make this decision. If the tight end gets up there and sees that the player is on his outside shoulder or even head up, the tight end calls on, meaning the double team is on. We're going to double team this kid and we're going to push him right out. However, if that defensive end is lined up here on the inside shoulder of the tight end, which could happen, we want that tight end saying off, or maybe not saying anything at all. And the tight end would block this player down, and the wingback would then go for the number two player from the sideline in. What does that mean? Well, there's most definitely going to be a cornerback over here, a number one player. Wingback, he's not yours. He's the tailback's player. You would be looking for the second player in, which would probably be either a half or a linebacker. Let's make it a linebacker. Stacked right there. You would take a step to the outside and work your way up to block him. Okay, so just as review, the tight end is going to make a call on this play. It's either on or it's off. Now, tight end and wingbacks, if you get to a place where you just need to hear on or nothing at all, that's fine. But the tight end's decision is made based on where this end is. If the end is here, that's an on. If the end is here, that's probably an on as well. Might depend. Tight end, if you know you can take this end and you can hook him, don't call it on. We won't waste it. But if this kid's tough, and most defensive ends are tough, that's where defenses put their best players, then don't try to take him by yourself. Give us an on-call, and we'll bring you some help with the wing back. If the player is in here, we definitely do not call on. We expect you to be able to block him down by yourself and let the wing back get up to a linebacker. Here's what I really need you to hear, wing backs and tight ends. Because this player is typically their best player on defense, if we don't take care of him, the play won't work. It simply will not work. And that's why I'm saying you guys are going to be the most important players on this play. You've got to get this call right. Now, let's line it up with this, right? Defensive end is head up on the tight end, and he's a tough player, so Braden calls on. Double here. So far, so good. Now, strong tackle. What are you doing on this play? Well, it's East 88 reach, so you are stepping hard to the right. If there's a man in your gap, you have to block him, because any defender in this gap could get through to get our jet back. So you've got to block him after taking that first step. But if there's not a defender there, then you are getting up to the next level, looking to block a linebacker. Now, this linebacker will not be standing still. As soon as this motion starts, that linebacker is going to try to move to the sideline with it. Your job is to take that reach step, and if there's nobody in your gap, keep going and beat him to the edge. Strong guard. You're going to be running the circle. Now, Alex, you ran the circle lots last year, and at the end of the season, you were running it beautifully. You're doing the exact same thing here. We take that shuffle step. We do not turn our shoulders. We keep our shoulders square. And as soon as you pass that tight end, we need you getting vertical into the hole. Because what's going to happen is either that linebacker is going to scrape over, or more likely than not, they're going to have a free safety. Who's going to try to fill that alley? As he tries to fill the alley, we need you running up into the alley to meet him. I like that matchup. I like our strong guard, Alex, matching up on a free safety. I think we're going to win that 9 out of 10 times. Remember, the jetback is probably coming right behind and fitting up into this alley as well. Now, Alex, I also need you to keep in mind that the reason we don't want you to turn your shoulders is that if they have, let's say, a linebacker, or let's say even a defensive tackle, who penetrates into that gap, if he penetrates right in front of you, we expect you to block him, because he's a dangerous threat. He could potentially get the ball from the jet back here. No, not the ball, but he could get the jet back. So, just as review. Tight end and wing back. You've got to know whether you're double teaming or not. It's on or it's off. If it's an on call, tight end and wing back, we double team on that defensive end. I might sometimes call this defensive end EMLOS. And EMLOS stands for End Man Line of Scrimmage, their last guy. If there's no on call, then the wing, you're going for the number 2 player from the sideline in. In the tight end, if you've made an off call, then you're probably blocking into your gap. Strong tackle, reach step. If there's somebody in the gap, you've got to block them. If there's nobody in the gap, get up to the next level. Strong guard, I need you to run the circle, coming up into this alley, looking for that free safety, And if somebody crosses your face as you're running it, you have to stop and block them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys are the most important part of this play. And if I had to break it down more specifically from there, this is where the play is either won or lost. Okay, guys, I'll see you Saturday.